So our families are meeting for the first time tonight.
Are you so excited? That's crazy.
It's crazy because we needed to do this, right? But it just seemed like something we kind of like talked about.
Welcome back to another episode of Mean Girl Pod.
It looks like Christmas in a can, but I think it might be another fruit.
Yes, so today I feel like that's like the theme of every episode. What can of Monster is Jordyn drinking? I'm drinking the Ultra Watermelon flavor, and let me tell you, it is so good.
Do you have a favorite yet?
It's still the white. I'm obsessed with the white Monster. I also really like the skinny blue and white can, or sorry, blue and pink can. Forgot what it's called, but that flavor is so good. I also love the orange and the purple. I love them all, but the white probably.
Yeah, I feel like I see the white everywhere too. Like people drinking the white one.
It's like a trend to drink the white one. I feel like that's like what the cool kids drink.
Yeah, that is what the cool kids drink. So you guys go get Monster at like anywhere. They're sold everywhere. Everywhere I go, I'm like, oh, there it is.
Because Mean Girl Pod is sponsored by Monster Ultra.
Yum. Oh my gosh, I cannot wait till I can get my hands on those bad boys.
Okay, so how are you? Where are you this week?
So I'm in Vancouver this week, and I have this thing called pregnancy carpal tunnel. So my right hand just did it. It went numb. And I have to like put my hand up here, move my arms around. But there's like nothing you can do about it because like your nerves are pinched, right? But my hand will, like if I write, and it's so sad, RIP to journaling. But if I write even just like a little bit, my hand just goes like absurdly numb.
Can you type or text?
I can, but like it not for very long because it starts to just numb out. So like I'll go to the bathroom sometimes in the middle of the night. They get really numb in the middle of the night. And I'll be like this, like trying to, I'll have to guide my right hand. So that's been a new.
Do you get like the tinglies when it goes numb, or can you just not feel it?
Oh no, I feel it starts to tingle and then it goes like the most numb ever. And I'm just like, what? But at first I was like, oh my God, what's happening? I'm having a heart attack and everything's like my arteries are all blocked. And then it's like very normal. So I was like, okay, yay.
Oh my God. And then so once you have the baby, it will just go away, or how does this work?
Well, some people are saying it could take like 8 to 10 months or a year, but it does go away.
How the heck are you supposed to wipe your baby or hold it if your
hands are like, no, I know. So I just like do this a lot, put my hand up here and I'm like, come on, come back. So it's just a little things that you don't know happen. Like my teeth are shifting and they're really hurt because your enamel decays. I mean, it's the oddest thing ever. There's so many little things you just like don't know.
Wait, what do you mean your enamel decays? Is your enamel which part is that of your tooth?
Like the bottom part. Like isn't enamel around it? Like it's enamel like the protecting coat, I think.
Did your gums bleed at all? I know that's a sign of pregnancy.
Yeah, my gums have been really bloody. Like I don't wear my retainer anymore because one time I put in my retainer after I flossed and brushed my teeth, and Harrison was like, what happened to you? And I was like smiling and it was just like red. Like my retainer was just like a blood thing. And I was like, no to the retainer. I think I'll get Invisalign like after I have all my kids because I think your teeth really shift a lot. So I don't think I'm going to bother with the retainer situation right now.
Like either no one is transparent about pregnancy or you are just having the most chaotic pregnancy out of anyone I know.
Well, everyone I asked are like, yep. Like, yeah, like not at most, like if somebody maybe had like the tooth thing or the carpal tunnel. I don't know. I got both. Just you never know. But I have a healthy little babe, so I'm like very happy about that.
Yeah. How big? What size fruit is your baby today?
I think it's a thing of corn. The corn with she's a foot long.
Shut up.
Inside of my stomach. It's the craziest thing. So like she'll kick. And like, if she kicks early in the morning, like I'll look at Harrison, I'll be like, there are 3 people in this room. One of them's just stuck in here. But like, she's kicking. God. Like somebody this morning moved, like they opened a door right outside the room. And it was like, I could tell it was early in the morning because the birds start to chirp here around 5. And I like love it. It's really peaceful. But I heard the birds chirping, so I knew it was early. And it kind of like woke me up a little. And then she started just like kicking around. And so I was like, oh, we both woke up.
Oh my God. How are you sleeping?
Like a baby.
Okay, good. Because I know that having a baby can irritate like your back or other parts of your body when you sleep, right?
Yeah, you can have a heating pad on the lowest level. So every night, how I fall asleep is with a heating pad on my back, and it like warms me up, and then it puts me like dead to sleep. But an anti-nausea, like one of the anti-nausea prescriptions, but it's not the prescription, it's you make it yourself at home, is B6 and Unisom. So it puts you to sleep, right? So I've been sleeping like really, really well. And then I have like my warm heating pad and I just like conk out for 10 hours is like my new low that I should sleep.
Okay, good. I'm glad you're at least sleeping because I can't imagine you having all this pain and then not sleeping on top of that.
I slept, like I took a 3-hour nap yesterday from like 4:30, 5:30, 6:30 to 7:30, went to dinner, came back, fell right asleep, slept till 9:30, like just sleeping, which is really nice.
How has flying been?
That's the problem. So when I fly the day before is when I have a day like yesterday where I have to sleep. So I'm a little nervous for Europe because that's going to be like heavy flying. So whenever I fly, like my flight from LA to here was 2.5 hours. And I really couldn't recover yesterday. And so that makes me a little nervous, but I think I'll be so excited to be going to Europe that hopefully I just like power through it.
Yeah. Okay. Because Vancouver's oh no, you were in Texas, not LA, right? Or
Well,
were you in LA?
I went to LA for a wedding. So I did my flight,
Oh, right.
which was nice. So I am dividing up the flights.
How long is that flight?
It was 2.5 hours. So so Austin to LA was 3.5 or 4, and then I got to LA, slept pretty much all day the next day. That was on a Saturday, and then when I came here, I just noticed now what I need to do is just like that's why I'd been flying on Fridays or Saturdays, so Sundays could be sleep days, and I think I thought the flight was short enough that wouldn't happen, and it happened.
How was your wedding and like dressing up and being on for that many hours and wearing heels, pregnant?
My feet have swollen out of my shoes, so I didn't realize that. Like I have gone up half a size. I think I'll end up going up a full size. But no, it was so, you know what? I was right. Like I did have energy and I felt fine at the wedding, and I loved being at that wedding. I thought everything was like beautiful, and it was so much fun. And getting dressed was actually fun. So it was great.
Okay, good.
Okay. So what did Pete think of Rhode Island?
Pete loved Rhode Island. We had a really great time. It's just like, it's such a special place. And it's one of those places where there's not a lot to do, but there's enough to keep you busy. So we literally just like went on walks, played pickleball, went out to dinner, drank on the deck, relaxed in the sun. It was just like such a great weekend.
Oh, that sounds amazing.
But something that I was thinking about, and I know you mentioned that you are going through this too. It's like, okay, so Pete's 30. I'm going to be 29 in a few weeks. And it's getting to the point where it's like, how old do you get till you stop sharing a place with your parents when you visit them? And then also on top of that, the paying situation.
Oh, yeah. The paying situation is the one killing me right now.
Because if my dad ever heard me say this on the podcast, he would. I just dropped my monster.
Oh.
So, my dad, I've talked about this on the podcast before. He's just a penny pincher. Like he's stingy.
Where's this going?
He's a penny.
I feel awkward.
He's a penny pincher, and he's just one of those people where he hates spending money. And as a family, like I think I've talked about this on the podcast, but back in the day, like my brother and I, when we would like go out as a family, like we would pay our own way because, yeah, it got to the point. Did I not tell you this ever?
No, you did, but hold on. I think I thought, wait, if you went to dinner with your family, like, would you pay for your tab?
Yeah, so I'm so glad he doesn't listen, but you know what, karma. No, it got to the point where like we would go on family vacations. This was post-college, and he would like keep all the receipts and then tab up how much Colton and I owed, and then literally gave us like an invoice at the end of the vacation, and we'd have to Venmo him how much money. Is that insane?
I feel like your mother hates this.
She hated it. She despised it. It made her like so angry, but she was like, what am I going to do? I'm not going to argue with him.
Right.
Pick your battles. So that only happened briefly because my brother and I were like, hey, if you want us to come, this has got to stop because we're paying for the plane ticket. We're paying $300-$400 to come visit you guys. And my mom was also just like, can you not? Like, yeah. Like, something to be very clear, my parents are very well off. Like, it's not because they lack in the money department. It's just because my dad is a penny pincher. He's so stingy. And so that kind of faded. And then now, like, when we go out to dinner as a family, like, every once in a while, my brother will pay the tab or I'll pay the tab, just, like, treat my parents. But, like, when we were out in Rhode Island with Pete, I like went up to my mom and I was like, hey, when we go out to dinner, can like Pete and I just pay our own way and you and dad, like we'll do separate checks, because I don't want to be sitting at dinner feeling like the stress of my dad being like, what's Jordyn ordering? Like just like seeing the tab, like just because like when I go out to dinner, I'm someone who likes an experience. I want to buy a bottle of wine. I want to get an appetizer. I want to get a main course, maybe a dessert. My dad is just there to eat. And I can't. So I'm like ready to spend $200. My dad's like, how can we get this below 50? So I was like, hey, we went to a nice restaurant and I was like, let me just, Pete and I pay and you guys pay. So my mom was like, okay, tell your dad that. So I went up to my dad and I was like, we're just going to split the tab. Pete and I, you and mom. And then he gets mad at me. He's like, why are you making this such a big deal? Obviously we'll pay. Like it's my dad's, like my dad has to make it his idea for it to be the right idea. So I'm like, oh, okay. So he ended up paying and it was fine. But Pete and I were just talking. We were like, when, like, we need to just draw the line and be like, going forward, so no one's uncomfortable, let's just like, we will always pay the tab and then they can pay their own tab. But it's like, does that come with a certain age, or just is it based off by family? Like, do you deal with that? Because it's so uncomfortable.
I am dying right now. Okay. Hold on. What happens when you go out with Pete's family?
They pay. They are so generous. Like they I don't even think they would think twice.
The dad probably typically, or the mom, always pays the check, right?
Yeah, and I don't think they would ever expect Pete or his siblings or us. Like it wouldn't even cross their mind.
So wait, what did Pete say? Like when you were like, okay, listen, the tab thing's gonna be weird at dinner. Here's what we're gonna do. Was he like, wait, what? Or was he just like, okay, all right, I got it?
So Pete's been around long enough to understand the dynamic I have within my family. So he was just like, I just want everyone to feel comfortable. I don't want your family to think that we're a burden. Like, let's just do what's easiest. Can we just pay? Blah, blah, blah. And my mom is over here being like, why wouldn't we pay for them? And my dad's over here like, Jordyn, why don't you just pay for everyone? Like, we went out to breakfast and I was like, I guess I'm paying for everyone.
And he's like, oh, your dad's like, okay, thank you.
No, literally, he's like, okay, thanks. So I paid for breakfast for everyone.
I know your mother. Like, I know Tracy is just like, what is happening?
And then Pete's mortified because he's like, I'm not gonna let you pay. But my dad will get mad like if Pete tries to pay because he's like, Pete's a guest. And then I'm like, I can't make you happy.
I'm your daughter. Why is this so weird? Oh my gosh. Okay. I don't know, because I know you had mentioned this before, but I thought you meant, like, I know when you go home for vacation, you pay for your flights, right? I think that comes with age and like becomes very normal. I do that now too. But I thought your parents, like, if you had a hotel room, I didn't think we were splitting meals. I didn't think we were sending Venmo requests afterwards. Okay.
Drinks and all, baby.
So if you order too much, if you order too much, your dad's like, no. Quick pause to talk about BetterHelp, because this show is sponsored by BetterHelp. Because you guys, there's nothing more important than your mental health and playing offense, not defense. So if you've ever felt like you're in a knot, you need somebody to talk to, you have so much to talk about, but you don't even know where to begin, enter BetterHelp, because they are seriously the best at helping you de-stress, stop carrying that stress around that you're carrying, and really make room in that brain for the things that you want to make room for. So if you're thinking about starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online, designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. All you have to do is fill out a brief questionnaire, get matched with a licensed therapist, and you can switch therapists at any time for no additional charge. Get it off your chest with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/meangirl today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/meangirl. Enjoy.
Well, he'll make a sly comment and just be like, seriously, you really need that?
This is why you love dinner experiences.
Yeah, because I was neglected them as a child.
This is why you love going out and ordering whatever you want, tasting the good wine. This is why you're rerouting it. Okay. So, no, what we've done typically is like my dad or Harrison's dad or mom, whichever one we're with, the parent pays, which I have found like to have to, like, it's awkward too to have to sit there because you're like, thank you for letting me stay and like hosting and paying, and you're just like, oh no. But then I think about it from the parents' perspective, like they not your dad, but in this instance, they want to.
Yeah.
Right?
That's how they like show their love and appreciation for their kids visiting.
Yeah, like they're it means more to them. And this is what I was going to say about where we stay, right? Like, I don't know if I'll ever get a hotel room in Oklahoma City or Vancouver, right? Because our parents, like, we don't live at home. Now, I think of some of my friends who live in the same city as their parents, right? That would be weird if they, like, spent the night over there on a random weekend with their significant other for, like, 3 days in a row. But for us, like, they love it when we stay in their homes. And I love it, too.
Yeah.
Especially I've been a hotel nomad lately. So, like, I love being here. And it's, like, you can tell, like, they want you to feel comfortable and, like, they stock the fridge. And so I don't know if that goes away with age. I don't know if, like, for me it will.
Yeah, like, when I visit my parents in Florida, I think myself and me and Pete, my brother, and when he gets a significant other, we will stay at their house because they have a home. They have 3 bedrooms, 2 baths. Like, everyone has their own space. But in Rhode Island, it's a small little cottage that it's just too much. So it's like, definitely when we have kids, we're not gonna be able to stay there with them. But it's like when my brother and his future girlfriend wife comes to visit and Pete and I are there, like, who gets to stay with my parents, or do we all just get our own spaces? It's weird to think about.
Oh, I see what you're saying. So you're more asking there where, like, you guys don't fit.
Yeah. If they had a home in Rhode Island, I wouldn't think twice. But it's like, even when I was there with Pete this past weekend, I never think twice about it. And when I bring my girlfriends, I never think twice about it. But, like, I was just thinking about, he never said anything about this, but I was just thinking, like, being in his shoes, I'm like, is this too tight of a space for him to enjoy his time there, because we're, like, all on top of each other?
Was it like, how could you tell how he felt?
I think he was fine. He's, like, so laid back, but it's also like, I don't want to be, when I say parents, I mean my dad. My mom, I'm never a burden to. She loves hosting. Like, that's like her love language. But I just, like, don't want to irritate my dad being, like, in his bubble.
Right.
In Rhode Island.
Right. Does he ever allude to, like, so this past weekend, though, did you feel like you were or no?
Well, my dad has a very strict routine every day. So if you get in the way of his routine, you will know. You will catch his wrath. But if you're not in his way, he loves it.
I am walking on eggshells for you guys. This is so funny because people, like, that is how some people work. Like, they have their routine going on.
Like, if I visited Florida and I stayed in a hotel, my mom would be mortified. She'd be like, you're what? We want you here. We want you to stay with us. And my dad would probably be like, okay, sounds good.
Yeah. Which hotel did you pick?
Literally, could we come by? Is it a nice place?
Yeah, will you can we charge to your room if we come to the bar? It cracks me up. Like,
no, literally, he'd be like, can we charge to the room? That'd be great.
Dying. It's like the funniest. I'm glad you, like, laugh about it because it's funny, right?
Oh, it's so funny. Like, let me tell you, a few years ago, we would get in screaming matches about it. But now I just am like, teach their own. I think it's funny. It drives everyone insane. So it's just funny now, but it's getting to the point where I'm like, it does affect my dinner experience sometimes because I want to ball out. So I think going forward, it's just gonna be one of those things like, hey, let Pete and I just pay our own bill. You guys pay yours. And that's how it's going to be.
Well, then he can't say anything. I mean, at least you guys are in a position where you can do that. So I do think the older we get, the more we can just like things that drive us crazy, we just remove by saying like, we'll take care of it. Right? Like, I got it.
Yeah, exactly. Or it's one of those things where it's like, maybe we're on vacation. My parents pay one night. Colton pays one night. I pay one night type of thing. But like, it's just one of those things where none of my friends relate to it. Pete doesn't relate to it. You don't relate to it. So I'm like, am I crazy?
No, I think the way you're talking about it is like spot on. Like the Venmo requesting, I would be like, listen, I'm not going to come on the trip.
That's what I said. I was like, fine, I'm just not coming anymore. My brother was like, same.
Yeah, like well, at least you and Colton are on the same page too. Like that helps. And then I think it probably becomes one of those things where your dad's like, okay, I want them around.
Well, my brother's like, I just spent $600 flying from San Francisco. You want me to pay for dinner too? Like at least mine's just like a $150 train ride. His is like a $600 flight.
Did he come to Rhode Island?
No, but he's coming over the 4th. And those flights are so expensive.
Wait, is Pete going over the 4th too?
He has to see what his family's doing first, but if his family isn't doing anything, yeah, he would come. My brother loves Pete.
So who stays where?
So that's the situation where I'm like, it's gonna be tight because Pete and I will get the bedroom and then my brother will have to do the pull-out couch.
Yeah, okay, so I guess it works until Colton brings home like a significant other
or there's kids involved.
Yeah, whichever one comes first. It's like then you don't fit anymore. That's the other reason why I'm like, I'll never get a hotel either because anymore, right, in my life, because one, like, it's so lovely to stay like with the families, and then two, you have extra hands for kids.
Oh, and I'm sure Harrison's parents are going to love when the baby's here, and like and your parents too, and just taking care of it. Your mom's probably going to be like, Alex, please leave for 24 hours so I can just have alone time with my grandchild.
Yes, they're both of them are going to be like, I see the way his parents are with his niece now. And I like really look forward to that. Like they just like love that baby and they're like phenomenal grandparents. And we know like this is my parents' Super Bowl. So I'm like lucky, not living in either city with them, that wherever we go, I'm like, wow, we're going to have like serious help, which is like huge. I mean, you will too.
How old is Harrison's niece?
2, almost 3. Well, 3 in October.
Like they'll have fun hanging out when they get old enough. Like they'll have a blast. They're close enough in age.
Yeah, they'll be like almost exactly 3 years apart.
Wait, that's so fun. I loved having cousins like a year to 2 years, 3 years from me, because it was just so fun when you're like in your 8 to 16 range of age.
They are. I always think about that too. Like even my cousins that were like 8 years older, I'm like, even that was still fine, right? But like the ones that are closer in age, it's cousins, like they can go to camp together. Like there's so much. You go on trips together. There's so much you can do. Like cousins are the best.
So do you think when you have a baby and like let's say it's Harrison's parents, you, Harrison, and the baby, will Harrison's parents still pay for everyone if you go out to dinner?
I think so.
I love that.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I don't know for sure, but I think so. Okay, so
like that's what most do.
I don't know. Like I haven't thought that far. But like we went out to dinner last night, and it's just like, when I'm with my parents, I know and I feel like totally comfortable. Like, okay, the parent there is going to pay in this scenario. But then whenever it's roles reversed, Harrison's like, my parents want to pay, and I'm like, okay, I just like sit. I'm like, thank you. You're just like dying, and it's so nice of them, and they want to. But you just, in your head, you're like, I don't want them to think I'm taking this for granted because I'm not.
Yeah, it's just so weird when you start to get older. Not only when you get older, but when you have life milestones happen, like getting married or having a baby, you start to think about that. Because when Pete came to Rhode Island, and I had like the thought of like where would we stay when we have family, or like I have kids, or my brother comes with his future girlfriend or wife and kids. It was like the first time where I was like, wow, I'm becoming an adult.
Yeah, like we're thinking about those things. I know. I think about them all the time.
Have you had that yet?
Yes, entirely. Yeah. Okay, wait, I have to tell you this is what I'm stuck on now. So,
oh God.
Tonight, so our families are meeting for the first time tonight. And then, yeah, so my parents are like coming to Vancouver right now. They haven't landed yet. So like, so then we have the tab situation tonight where there's like 4 parents there. And it's just entered my head. I'm like, well, who pays for that?
Oh my God. Yeah. What do you do when it's a table of blended families?
I don't know. Cause like my brother's coming and like his sister will be there. Yeah. It's like the whole, and now I'm like, well, who gets that tab? Surely like the dads can just split it. Maybe I just get ahead of that.
Yeah. I would assume Joe and Harrison's dad will for sure split it.
I hope. I'm just like, I didn't even think about that. But the tabs are funny.
Are your parents staying in a hotel?
Yeah.
Maybe Harrison's parents would be like, thank you for coming to visit, we'll pay. Or Kim and Joe would be like, thank you for having us, we'll pay, type of thing.
I know, because I'm like, one's hosting, but one, like, who? I'll let you know. I don't know.
Wait, the whole family is coming to Vancouver to visit or to meet Harrison's family?
Yes, they land in 40 minutes.
Are you so excited? That's crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy because like we needed to do this, right? But it just seemed like something we kind of like talked about, and I never really thought it would happen. And then we set the date like a month ago, and Harrison's mom and sister are hosting my Canadian baby shower with like their friends, so I get to meet them, and like I've met his aunt, and I get to meet like the rest of his aunts, and like they invited my parents and my brother and soon-to-be sister-in-law, and they were like, yeah, of course we'll come, like we're celebrating the baby. And so I was like, whoa. And then it just kind of snuck up on me that like, here we are, it's today.
Are you scared?
No, I'm excited. I'm really excited because our parents are similar. Like, I know that's crazy to say because his are like Canadian, Northern, like Jewish, like so, and my parents are, we know, like the Southern. But they're very similar. Like they socialize similar values. Like their houses are kept similar. So our parents are a lot alike. So I'm excited about that. It's just like it's so crazy.
I can totally see Kathy and Kim getting along, like having a ball together.
Same. And
it's Kathy, right?
Yeah, and she's so sweet. Like,
okay.
My mom said she landed at 5 and then like called me at 9 and was like, I'm boarding the plane. And I was like, well, then how do you land at 5 unless you're flying through like Japan? And she's like, oh, I land at 12:30. I was like, that's, like 5 hours earlier than you told everybody. She's like me. That's where I get it. She's like, oh, no kidding. Like, yeah, I messed that up. And Kathy's like, well, I'll go meet her at the hotel and like I'll take her on a walk. And I'm like, that's so nice.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So they're like, I gonna be grandmas together.
And Joe and Harrison's dad are like each other?
Yeah. Yeah. His dad's name is Michael. So it's funny. You won't forget that. It's my brother's name.
I just think of Harrison's dad being like a jolly old, not old, but like jolly old man. Like your dad is like the nicest, goofiest, kindest person I've ever met.
His parents are so like, they are just cool. That's how I describe them. Like I aspire to have their relationship when I'm older. Does that make sense? Like, and they're so active. Every time she like sends me a photo and I'm like, where are you? She's like, the vineyards up north. And I'm like, cool. Like,
oh my God.
Yeah, they like go. And so I like love that. That's like the life I want to live when my kids are like, but they're such good grandparents too. So it's like having that balance. I really envy. I love it.
Wait, that's incredible. I feel like too, having a similar activity level is important because like I feel like your parents are very active. They love to travel. They're both like, they move a lot. So having that in common is huge to bond, I feel like.
Yeah. Wait, have your parents met Pete's parents?
No, not yet. We've talked about having them meet this summer just because my parents are in Rhode Island. But I'm scared. I've like never had my parents. Okay, that's a big fat lie. My parents have met all my boyfriend's parents.
Lying through my teeth over here.
My parents haven't met my boyfriend's parents since my last boyfriend, which was like 6 years ago now. But I'm nervous because
why?
My dad just makes me nervous sometimes, like introducing him to people.
Why? You make it sound like he's a liability. I feel like your dad's probably lovely.
He is. He's one of those people that like everyone loves when they meet him. Like my friends love him. Like all my girlfriends are like, your dad is like my friend Abby's always like, your dad's my boyfriend. Like, absolutely love him. But I don't know. I just like, so like my parents, my dad's the stricter one. My mom is cool as a cucumber. And Pete's parents, his mom's a little bit stricter and his dad's pretty like much cool as a cucumber. So it would be so interesting to see the dynamic where like the gender roles are a little swapped when they meet.
Yep.
So I'm like kind of fascinated to see that, because I feel like a lot of times the dads are usually the coolest cucumber ones, but in my family dynamic, my mom is like the most calm, cool, chill person I've ever met in my life.
So like how would they meet? Would it be over a dinner, or would they go to somebody's?
I think it could be my parents training up to New York and Pete's parents driving into the city because they're so close to New York. And just doing like a dinner.
Yeah. Are they open? Do they like want to?
Yeah, they both really want to meet each other. And I think it'd be so fun.
Oh, I think you guys should do it.
Yeah, I think it'd be a very good time. I would also love if like his siblings could come to and meet my family and stuff. Because it was so fun having my brother and Pete meet. And I loved meeting Pete's siblings. But it's so fun. But I don't know. It's one of those things where it's like when you have your best friends meet your boyfriend, you're like, please all like each other. Please.
Right. I know. It makes it really official too. Right. Because then like families are intertwined and like moms have each other's phone numbers and like we're talking and there's so much, like so many added layers to it. But it's so much fun too.
Yeah. Like my mom and my ex's mom were like close. Like I think they hung out like one-on-one even.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think so. I think they would get like drinks together and stuff.
See, that's
or
fun.
My mom would like. Yeah, and I loved it. So, like, I just want everyone to be best friends.
Yeah, it makes it much easier when they get along and, like, they have things in common and they're like, oh, I would totally be your friend. Because then it makes it, like, so much less awkward. Like, then you don't have to play, like, middleman.
Yeah. And then that's, like, when you start to feel like a kid again. Because you're like, our parents are meeting. We're just kids.
I know. I can't. We have to change the subject.
Oh, my God. I just can't believe that. Your parents are, oh my God, that's gonna be so fun. Okay, I'm excited for an update next week.
Yep, I'll give you one.
Okay, I have a funny question for you to change the subject.
Okay.
Okay, so there's a trend on TikTok where it's like girls are pretty much showing like the craziest thing they ever did to get a boy's attention. So, for example, like this one girl was like, a boy had a crush on, told me he loved the Beatles, so I posted on my Instagram story me singing Let It Be by the Beatles, and it's like the funniest thing ever because she can't sing, and like this other girl's like, my crush told me he loved interpretive dancing, so I put it on my story, and it's like her doing an interpretive dance, and like the caption's like, just messing around. So I was gonna ask you if there's anything like if you've done anything like that when you were younger. Okay. To get a boy's attention that you liked.
I'm sure. Like, let me think. Well, do you know yours?
Yeah, so I'll tell mine. I probably should have given you a heads up so you could have thought, but I'll tell my story when you're thinking. So years ago, I had a crush on this guy, and I feel like I have a million of these, but this is just the one that came to mind. I stalked his whole Instagram to the point where it went back like 3 years. I saw a picture of him singing karaoke, and it was this song where he was like, this is my favorite song of all time. So I posted an Instagram story playing that song and being like, this is my new favorite song. And it sounds cringy, but he like messaged me and was like, oh my God, that's my favorite song.
You're like, no way.
I was like, so random. We must have the same taste of music.
So glad that you slid in my DMs to talk to me about that. Didn't do that, Kelvin. Though I feel like the worst part about that is like when you do something and then like they do view your story but they don't slide in and you're like, all that for nothing.
Or the dartboard story from Oklahoma, but I've already told that. That's the craziest, actually.
That's by far the craziest. That's a good one. Off of Google Images, that's a really good one.
And a lot of people like, you cannot post that. That is legitimately a drawing of a dartboard. And I'm like, it looks so real, as we're like blackout at 3 a.m. in the morning.
I'm like, you should definitely post that. It's from like page 7 of Google Images, so no one's gonna get that.
And then it worked. I mean, we started talking the next day.
It's like a little subtweet. I mean, but we knew like if you posted a dartboard, he was gonna message you.
It was just so funny. The dartboards I was choosing to post?
Well, we went to 3 bars to find a dartboard, and I was like, I swear these bars have dartboards, but none of them do. So we got online, page 7 of Google, because here's the thing too. I always think like you should go to page 7, then he'll never know. He's not gonna Google dartboard and assume you got it off Google Images.
I forgot that I dragged you guys around Oklahoma to find a dartboard.
We were like, well, and then I was like really invested in every bar I was picturing in my head. I was like, they have a dartboard, but we would go to them and none of them had a dartboard. That's
you wouldn't let me go home until I beat you in, was it quarters?
Yeah, quarters.
And I was like, I beat you. And then you're like, we're not going home. And I was like, whatever.
We're staying. Sorry. Oh my gosh. It makes my stomach hurt thinking about those lunch boxes. Like amaretto orange juice, apple juice. Oh, it's the worst hangover on the planet.
Oh my God. Only thrown up in Oklahoma from drinking.
And sushi from a landlocked state.
And food poisoning.
Which is disgusting. Okay. Oh, wait. We have to change that subject because, oh my God.
Okay, what's your story?
I can't think of one. Like, I mean, I definitely know anytime like I heard a guy like liked a sport or something, I absolutely probably embodied that. I can't think of like a specific one though. I'll really have to stop and think like, I'm sure it's my senior year going into freshman year of college or freshman year of college, but I don't know. I have to think of it.
Because I guess kind of with Harrison, didn't you like post the museum in Paris?
yeah. I mean, I definitely like went to Paris because he picked that over London for sure. I definitely did and like followed his itinerary. So that's probably pretty good. Of like,
you're like, love museums, walks out.
He was like, what do you think of the Pompidou? I'm like, I haven't been in that museum yet. He's like, what?
Oh my God.
I did follow his itinerary and send him photos because I wanted to keep talking. I did go to Paris over London because I like wanted to keep talking to him. So that's probably definitely it. Definitely it.
Flies to a different country to impress a man.
Flies to a different country
to keep talking to a man.
Just to keep sending him screenshots of the city.
I'm dead. Oh my God, that kills me. The things that we do for boys.
I know, and I feel like they'll never say like I'm like what's the craziest thing boys have done for girls, and I feel like it doesn't translate as well.
I'm gonna have to go with nothing.
Yeah, probably like wait what? Probably don't even care.
Oh my God, that kills me. Also, another question I had for you because I was gonna ask you it, but then you told the story about your parents meeting each other, which I still am like so invested in this.
Yeah,
but. Okay, when you got pregnant, did you automatically start feeling like you were an adult, or was it like a shift before then?
No, it was automatic, like almost. It was like even a little bit delayed because you're in shock at first. So I think I started feeling like super, like take control of like adult up, right? Probably like a month in after I was like, okay. There's a baby in there. Baby's going to come out. You're going to have to care for the baby. Like, that baby depends on you for her whole life. Like, every time I call my mom, I think about, like, I'm 30. So, like, this thing is going to need me for real, forever. So, a month of shock, and then I felt like an adult. Why?
I was just talking about that in therapy today, about, like, the moments you feel like an adult. And because I was telling her, like, is it okay if Pete and I still stay with my parents? Like, is it weird that I still visit them this much? Like, do adults do that? And she was like telling me that I'm crazy for even thinking that. But then she was like, most people never really feel like an adult. And I'm like, you're right. I still feel like, I don't feel like I'm 26 based off of the actions I do. I just feel like I'm 26 for some reason. Like, I don't feel like I'm going to be 30 in a year.
Well, I think on the visiting the parent thing, like a lot of people live in the same city as their parents. You know what I mean? Like there's no,
True.
like it would be impossible, I think, for you to visit your parents too much. Like objectively speaking, I don't think you do at all.
That's true. I visit them once a month. You're like, what are you talking about? Or sorry, once a year.
Yeah, I'm like, I think you like max you do like the holidays, right? Don't you do like the holidays? That's like normal. Yeah, you're not like dependent on your parents at all. But I think the way, like, I think you'll feel this. Like the way I knew I was ready to have a kid was because I started to feel like so adult that I was like, there's like this fulfillment piece where like you want to start a family, and not everybody feels that, right? Like there was a day when you didn't want to have kids, and some people never want to, right? And that's totally fine. But for me, I just felt this like, now I have the capacity and the desire to like care for a child and like the person I want to do it with, and like that really hits you.
No, I get that, because I'm in the stage of like, I'm ready to care for a dog.
That's you need to get the dog.
I don't mean to minimize like wanting the kid thing.
No.
But like a year ago, I didn't want to take care of anything.
Right.
Now I want to like care for a living thing. And then in 3-4 years, I'll want to take care of a child.
No, you will. And like I wish I had a dog, right? Having to have the responsibility of, we just travel too much. Like we can't do it, but having to like wake up, take that dog out, right? Like that's a very maternal thing.
Yeah.
Like dog parents are real. They're real parents.
They are real. Julie's smiling because she's like, I am a mom.
Yeah. She's like, I knew it the whole time. I have a dog. Are you going to get a dog, do you think?
Not until I move.
Okay. Yeah, but
I just can't imagine having a dog. Like, I want a big dog, and having a big dog in like a small space makes me so sad.
When they say the bigger the dog, like if they're on cement a lot, it hurts their back, so it's good.
Yeah, like I'm really in this new era of wanting a golden retriever, and I can't imagine having a golden retriever in this tiny apartment.
And nor can the golden retriever, right? Like little dogs are so good for New York, 'cause they just bounce around everywhere and it feels like they have a whole gym. But a big dog, yeah. Oh, I love Goldens.
Yeah. Also, not that I know we're not allowed to talk about moving because we talk about it too much, but I'm on a new wave of now I want to move to Tampa or St. Petersburg, Florida.
Oh, okay. So I was going to mention St. Petersburg to you and ask you if you had thought about that.
Yeah, a lot of people just kept telling me that West Palm Beach it will get boring after a while. It's a very older area, and so many people were like, St. Pete's, Tampa, St. Pete's, Tampa. And also I was thinking, why move to the same state as my parents and live 5 hours away versus 45 minutes if one day, like if Pete and I are trying to move somewhere where we can like build a foundation and like a life.
I could not agree more. I think that's a fabulous realization.
Yeah, I was like one day we want to move somewhere where we can see ourselves being for a long time, and if we get married and have kids in Florida, like I'd much rather have my parents be 45-minute drive versus a 4.5-5 hour drive so they can babysit.
Yeah, and they say you like want your mom more than ever during that period, which I feel already, so I can't imagine like when the baby comes out. I think that'll be a really smart like foresight.
I also just like I've seen my mom with my cousin's kids, and it just makes her so happy. Like I can just tell how much she loves like babies and younger kids, and I wouldn't want to take that away from my parents. Like I want to give them the joy of having grandkids and being able to take care of them literally as much as they want.
Totally. I think that's sweet of you. And like that both parties win there, right?
Yeah. So I'm on the Tampa, St. Peter. Have you been to St. Petersburg?
My cousin lives there. She moved there, I think, or St. Augustine. It's one of the two. But I know like both are where people want to move to, and like they're fabulous like ways of living. And I've seen a lot of people move to Tampa recently too, so I would assume that those are two really good options.
Yeah, because a lot of people are always like, why not Miami? And Miami's just like, it's too unattainable for me. It'd be like it's like the New York of the South. Like I'm trying to get away from like the expensive lifestyle and like the uppity up. Like I just want simple.
Yeah, and I think that there's so many good options. Like you still have the great weather, you still have the beach, like you have everything you want. It's just like where do you want to land within that?
Exactly. So that's a little life update.
Yeah, that's good. I support that. I support that movement.
Thank you. Do you want to do a listener question?
Let's do it. This is a long one, ladies and gentlemen.
But it's really well written.
It's like she put it into Grammarly or something.
Yeah, I like even like went through it to try to make it shorter, and I was like, I can't because it's just like so well written and the detail is phenomenal.
Yeah, we need all the tea. Okay, so this is presented by Monster. This listener question, which Jordyn
Yes, it is.
Which Jordyn will enjoy while I read to her. Okay, I'm getting married in 4 days. Congratulations. I'm not the pickiest person. I told my bridesmaids 2 things they absolutely had to do and have were silver shoes and purchase a burgundy mesh floor-length dress from Azazi. I have 8 bridesmaids with all different body types, so I said they could pick any style they were comfortable with as long as they met those requirements. About a month ago, my matron of honor, Liz, advised me to ask all the women if they had ordered their dresses yet because the delivery date was getting close to the wedding date. I followed her advice and sent a message to the group. Everyone responded that their dress was delivered or almost there except for one, Sam. Sam responded with, I have a dress. The wording made me uneasy, but Sam is known for being not the best texter, so I figured she meant she had the dress already. Last night I'm talking to Liz and ask if I'm overthinking Sam's text. She tells me no and that I should ask for a picture of the dress. I didn't want to because I trust my friend and there's no way she meant anything other than she has had the dress, right? I text her anyway, saying something along the lines of, I'm having everyone send their dresses, but I haven't seen hers yet, so I asked for a picture. Her response was, because I already have a maroon dress. My heart literally dropped. The only thing I could do was respond, no, that's not the right color. Sam texted back confused and insisted. I said the dress had to be maroon and chiffon, but nothing else. I have the screenshots showing in December what I asked for, the examples off the website. After that, it was just repeated versions of her saying she can't be in the wedding, saying sorry for running everything and messing up, that she's such a shit friend, and how she can't afford a dress right now. From there, I stopped answering. I asked for next to nothing from her for my wedding. I didn't require her to help with anything or come to the wedding events, no dress fittings, showers, or bath trip. Wow, that's really nice. I just asked this one thing, and she couldn't do that. I honestly feel like my wedding day was just wasn't as important for her and straight up disrespectful. Here's where I may be the asshole. Liz was a bridesmaid in a wedding a few months ago with the same details as mine for bridesmaids' dresses. She pulled out the old dress and it matches perfectly to the dresses she bought for my wedding. The dress also happens to perfectly fit another friend of mine, Gabby, who was with us. I now have Gabby taking Sam's place in the wedding. Sam is still invited to the wedding, but she's not a bridesmaid anymore and won't be walking down the aisle. I feel absolutely horrible and have barely slept tonight, but my fiance is insisting that I've done nothing wrong. Am I the asshole here?
Is that a great question?
It's a great question with an easy answer, I think. What do you think?
Well, I want to preface, I've never been married, so I don't know exactly what it feels like to be a bride. But I've been in weddings, and I think that Sam is totally in the wrong, because when a friend has asked me to be in their wedding, I am so grateful that they want me to be part of their special day, that I remember some dresses have been expensive in the past, and I was putting money aside to be able to afford that. Also, it seems like the bride is being very flexible on the style, so I would assume you can find a relatively cheap one that's within budget, and it seems like she gave her a lot of time, like December to a few, I think she got married in May when she sent this, so that seems like enough time to save up for a dress. So I would say the bride was doing nothing wrong because it's her day. She had one ask, and if a bridesmaid can't obtain that, kick her out. I would do it. What do you say being a bride?
Well, I think that her not asking for bachelorette trips, things like that, is really sweet of her. And I think, listen, if you can't afford the dress, say it up front, right? Don't make the bride have to ask you. Don't make it awkward where you show up the day of and your dress doesn't match the right color, right? That'll stand out in photos and things. So it's if you can't afford the dress, that's one thing. But tell her that in January. Because you can find used dresses online sometimes. There's so many different ways around it. But to handle it, I'm sorry, I'm such a shit friend, I'm out. I do think people's true colors come out during bridesmaids and weddings time. And just a simple requirement of a dress and shoes is very baseline for what we've seen these days. So I just think there were so many different ways to handle it. But the bride having to ask you and text you and bear that stress during her wedding journey, I feel is really mean as a friend.
Yeah, also too, these days you could do Rent the Runway, Fashion Pass. You also could post on Facebook, but you could be hey, does anyone have a dress this color? You know how many girls have dresses sitting in their closets they would love for you to borrow or buy at a less price, or go to Plato's Closet. That color is so basic too, and I mean basic by you could find it in a lot of places. It's not she's asking you to buy a polka dot pink and white dress. You know what I mean? It's like a basic color.
Right. No, I completely agree. And I did ask my bridesmaids to buy a polka dot dress, but I paid for them.
Oh yeah,
but I paid for them.
but you paid for them.
Yeah, but I bought it because I was like, listen, you'll never rewear this. I'm crazy for wanting polka dots, so I did buy those. But I think in this case, like, even if you post it online, like, I need them, like, you could borrow.
Yeah.
Anyone that's bought one. So I just think, like, waiting until the last minute and then, like, insisting you have it covered just feels like you put a lot of pressure on the bride and made her have to handle it, which is like the opposite of what's supposed to happen.
Sounds like a cop-out because we all know, like, the bride's not going to let you be the only bridesmaid wearing a different colored dress.
I mean, like, photos. She paid for a photographer, so it's like, honor that move, right? I don't know. Just, like, get ahead of it.
Yeah. No, the bride is not the asshole, and Sam definitely is.
Could not agree more. Yeah, that's too bad.
Okay, what is your rec for this week?
So on the plane on the way here, there was no Wi-Fi, and so I don't typically watch the, like, TVs in the headsets or the headrests, but I was, and I started watching Southern Charm, and I just forgot how much I used to watch that show, and I just picked up on a random season and, like, loved it and watched all of season 4, and so I think that's my rec, is just picking up on Southern Charm. I loved it.
Was Paige DeSorbo in this season at all with Craig, or was it mainly just Craig?
No, Craig has that other girlfriend, Naomi. So that was fun to watch, too, because that was way back in the day. This is like, and Craig's kind of getting dunked on in this season because he lied about going to law school and taking the bar. And now, like, we all just love Craig. So it's like, nothing is permanent in that world.
How many seasons of Southern Charm have there been?
There must have been a ton. Like, I didn't realize how far back season 4 was. But it's like, Craig, we love Craig. And so it's like, people make their comeback. I don't know. It was just like this moment for me where I was like, fun.
Wait, that's actually hilarious because I didn't know a world before, or a world without Craig and Paige.
Yeah, and I loved Craig during it, even though they're kind of being mean to him. I, like, loved it. Hold on, let's see. How many?
2013, 10 seasons.
Oh, wow. So we're really, yeah, like, Cam doesn't even have babies yet. And, like, we know so it's a long time ago, but it was still really good.
Wow, so 11 years of this show. That's crazy.
Yeah. So I'm, like, I know, and I was thinking when Naomi popped up, I was like, what? So I might keep watching it because I'm sure there'll be a breakup. And
wow, that's wild.
Yeah, I know, but it was good. The time flew by.
Wasn't he dating Kelsey Ballerini too?
Oh, did he?
I think at the beginning, yeah.
Oh, I have no idea.
That's crazy.
What are your recs?
My rec is Pretty Little Liars Original Sin. It's the spinoff of the original Pretty Little Liars. So it came out in 2022, season 1, but season 2, I think due to the writer's strike and everything, didn't come out until like a month ago. And it was one of those things where we were just randomly looking on HBO, Pete and I, and he was like, "What's this?" And I was like, "I don't know. Like, should we just put it on?" And we finished the season in like a week.
Even he liked it.
It was really, yeah, because it's like that scary. It's definitely darker than the original Pretty Little Liars, and it's like a lot of people get killed, and it's just like that kind of like that funny but scary high school show where like there's a killer on the loose.
Yeah. Oh, I think I've seen something. There was a Pretty Little Liars like back in the day though, right? Like the original.
Yeah, and that's like 7 seasons. That started in like 2013 too.
Okay.
When we were young.
Yeah, okay. So I saw some of those. Okay, yeah. Oh, I bet that was good.
Yeah, so if anyone's looking for anything to watch, Pretty Little Liars season 2 just came out. Original Sin. That's my rec of the week.
Okay, that's a great rec. I love it.
Perfect. Okay. Anything else?
No, that's all for me. What about you? Anything else?
I don't think so.
Okay. What are you going to do this weekend?
I'm going back to Rhode Island.
You do visit your parents too much. I'm just kidding. I'm totally kidding.
I know. Literally, as I'm like, I'm going back to Rhode Island, and then next weekend my mom's coming to visit, and then I'm going back to Rhode Island. I'm like, do I visit my parents too much?
No.
This is like the first time in my life.
I've never known you to ever visit your parents too much. They cannot simply not be a worry.
And then is your family staying in Vancouver until Sunday?
Yeah. Well, we're going to Whistler.
Oh
We're going to Whistler we're doing like a lot of fun like Vancouver things. But we're going to Whistler on One thing that both of our dads have in common is they love to golf. So the guys are going to go there and golf, and like we're going to go up there and hang out.
Oh my God, and does Harrison golf?
He does, not nearly as much as his dad, but he likes to go, so he'll go.
So I was going to say, will him and Michael golf?
Yeah, they'll golf. Yeah, and they're like not as golf heavy as the dads are, but I think that comes with age.
Fun. Oh my God, I'm so excited to ask you all these. I have so many questions for you next week when we record.
Oh yeah, it'll be. I mean, I'll have all the info. I'll still be here, so.
Oh yeah. Oh my God, yeah. Because how long are you in Canada for?
I'm here for. We're here for like 12 days total, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Me too.
Okay. Yeah. You have so much fun with the fam, and
Thank you.
I can't wait for a recap next week.
Yeah, you have fun with your fam too.
Thank you. Okay, bye.
Bye. Okay, that's it for today's episode. As always, thank you for listening to Mean Girl Pod, powered by Just Media House. I'm Alex Bennett.
And I'm Jordyn Woodruff. So, AB, do what you do best.
If you enjoyed the show, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, rate, and review. We are at Mean Girl Pod on all platforms. Stay connected with us on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, and Snapchat at Mean Girl Pod. Podcast and social artwork and post-production by Creative Evolution Studios. Theme song to the Mean Girl Pod performed by Sergi Asbel. Mean Girl Pod, we're your besties in your ear. New episodes every Monday.